Hello, this video is going to be walking you through how to play the Allman Brothers song Melissa. I'm going to break this down into a few different steps. This is going to match the walkthrough PDF that I sent you. The walkthrough it doesn't follow the lyrics like a traditional chord sheet. It just lays out each section and tells you how to play the guitar parts. But it will work exactly the same way with the lyrics. So the first thing I'm going to do is just break down what all these chords are and how to make them. This song's in the key of E. That's going to be your sort of home base for all of this song. It's going to all come back to E. So when you make your E chord, right, we're used to making it this way. But for this song, we want to use what I call the bar chord fingering of an E, right? We know E is a shape that we can move up and down within the cage system. And we want to be thinking about how all of these connect to the cage system so that we are building our fluency on the whole fretboard, right? So instead of making this fingering, I want you to take your ring finger on the second fret of the A, your pinky on the second fret of the D, and your ring finger is going to go to the first fret of the G string, right? Sounds exactly the same, but now you have your pointer finger free for fretting your bars behind the notes. In this case, we're going to be doing something a little different, as you know, or something in addition to just barring with this pointer finger. So there's E, right? Good old E chord just played with this bar chord fingering. The next chord you're going to see, I have labeled as F sharp minor / E. And so we know F sharp minor is a bar chord, right? It's on the second fret, bar, and it's an E minor shape, and it sounds like this. But instead of doing a standard F sharp minor from our E, we're going to leave an open E drone in the low E string and the high E string, right? They're going to be open. So it's an F sharp minor shape in that we still have this note, right? All three of these notes that are the same with the F sharp minor bar chord. But we're going to have an open B string, an open E on the high E, an open E on the bottom, just like this. And you can hear that sounds just like the recording, right? And you get that really nice effect that you hear on the recording of Melissa. So it's E with bar chord fingering, and then this F sharp minor / E. G sharp minor / E is the exact same thing. You may already know that G sharp minor is played here in a bar chord position, right? Where you bar at the 4th fret, just like that. And it sounds like this. Well, we're going to do the same thing. G sharp minor / E is where I'm going to have an open B string, an open E string on the high E and bottom. So instead of this sound, we get this sound. And how do I achieve that? Well, this finger, remember we talked about, it's going to be open. So when I slide up from the E, these two fingers are going to slide into the same position they would in the bar chord, right? Meaning your ring finger and your pinky. Notice they stay in the same place. And then your pointer finger is going to come down 1 fret down. I'm sorry, 2 frets down and 1 string down from where your pinky is, right? So my pinky is on the, I'll just walk you through all the fingers. It's open E, ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string, pinky on the 4th fret of the D, and pointer is on the 2nd fret of the G. Sounds just like this. So that's F sharp minor / E. Again, I'm moving that whole shape. Watch my fingers. These two, my ring and pinky, they're going to slide up to the 6th fret, and the whole shape follows with it. Middle finger's not doing anything on this chord, so it's up to, right? The same thing for this one. Open E, ring finger on the 6th fret of the A, pinky finger on the 6th fret of the D, pointer finger on the 4th fret of the G. Open B, open E. These are the same notes, right? They'll be slightly out of tune with each other, probably. It kind of gets that 12-string lush, drony sound. That's going to be a lot of what you play on the verses, so it sounds like this, right? Your intro, slide it back down. It's the same chord. E, F sharp minor slash E, F sharp minor slash G, F, and then F sharp minor slash E. E, F sharp minor slash E, G sharp minor slash E, F sharp minor slash E. And that's what I have labeled as the intro. It's the same thing for the A part as well, right? It goes, crossroads seem to come and go, from coast to coast. When it goes, gypsy flies from coast to coast, then the chords change. That's when we go from A part to B part. It's kind of like a pre-chorus, right? So it changes from E, gypsy flies from coast to coast, F sharp minor slash E, and then we're going to go into the B part, which you'll notice the first chord is an A. You'll play a standard A. Just like that. That's all three fingers stacked in a line. Just like that, your regular first position E chord. Next is B minor. This is a bar chord, right? So it's A minor shape, but you're barring on the second fret, right? Here's A minor. A minor shape. Barring the second fret gives you B minor. You've got your bar on the second fret of the B. Ring finger is on the fourth fret of the D. Pinky's on the fourth of the G, middle is on the third of the B, and then your bar is picking up the second fret of the high E, right? So it's, again, just slide this chord up to C sharp minor. So we're moving the root from B to C sharp minor, right? And so, C sharp minor, A, B minor, C sharp minor, then D. Now with D, right, we can use the standard open position for D, or we can walk it up since we're walking up diatonically, meaning in accordance with the major scale, right? A, B minor, C sharp minor, and then D bar chord, right? Since we know that this is an A shape, right, and caged, right? So that's the bar there on the 5th fret of the A string, gives you a D note, and then you're just going to make the regular A bar shape. Remember to try and miss the high E if you do this shape. You can do it this way, but I find that's pretty inefficient, and most times, most players will play it this way. That's just using 2 fingers, right? So A, B minor, C sharp minor, D, right? None. And it switches back to E. This is just like the intro. Sharing sorrow, having fun. And then from here it switches to an A bar chord. That's an E shape on the with a bar on the 5th fret. So bars on the 5th fret, picking up your root. Then you have ring finger on the 7th fret of the A string, pinky finger on the 7th fret of the D, middle finger on the 6th fret of the G, and then your bar picks up the 5th fret for both the B and high E. So it's E, F sharp minor slash E, G sharp minor slash E, A, right? The next part that we're going to do, this is getting from A part into B part. Let's see here. A, no, we're still in B part. A, B minor, sorry. C sharp minor, D, E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A. This gets into the chorus, which is just 2 chords, right? From A, and then, so it's on and on, gypsy road. Sorry, I'm singing these lyrics wrong, but this is where it says, to sweet Melissa. It goes back to the verse, right? That sort of sweet Melissa part is the C chord right here. That's the 8th fret bar chord, the 8th fret bar chord. C, it's out of E shape, right? So you're barring at the 8th fret, picking up that root, the C root on the E string, the low E. Then you have ring finger on the 10th of the A, pinky finger on the 10th of the D, middle finger on the 9th of the G, and then your bar picks up here. And then you're just going to slide it down 1 fret here to play B. And to sweet Melissa, back to the intro, right? Bridge, right? It's going to be E, D, A. I'm playing this to gear up for a bar chord, so there's A. Make sure you don't hit this root on the A string, right? So it's E, D, A, B, C sharp minor, D, right? I'm trying to think of the lyrics here. But these basically all last for a measure. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. B, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the C sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. D bar chord. 2, 3, 4, then back down to B bar chord, right? You don't have to do that part, but it's in the song. It goes from, and that goes straight back into the intro, right? So there's your bridge. One more time. I'm going to call the chords out. E, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. C sharp minor. 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. Stop. So that's a detailed breakdown of how to make all those chords and kind of how they all fit together. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.